Hello, my lovelies. Um, tonight's daily diary is going to be a short one, but heartfelt. Today, I woke up to the news that Jimmy Buffett had passed away. I'm aware that not all of you will know who Jimmy Buffett is. Those who do know may not be fans, but he was quite an important figure in my life, and that means that today was a little bit of a sad day for me, and I suspect millions of other people. And I would just like to quickly explain why he was important to me. It won't take long, and it's a story I've kind of told before at least once, but the story begins in 2001, January 2001. And I, on a whim, flew out to Chicago to have a blind date, if you like. I mean, it's not really a blind date, is it? I mean, it was the days of the internet. Uh, we'd seen pictures, exchanged messages, whatnot. So not really a blind date, but a date, a first date might be better. Um, with with a lady who owned a couple of law firms in Chicago. Um, and yeah, I just flew out there on a whim, and it was actually for my birthday. She invited me out for a 30th birthday lunch, and I thought, yeah, why not? I'd worked the past 9 years without a single day off, 365 days a year. Um, and yeah, I decided that I would go. At that point, I was still doing the car dealership. I also had my promotions company, and I can't remember if I'd yet bought the entertainment agency. I honestly can't remember. Perhaps I hadn't. And so out I went, and she picked me up from Chicago Airport. And she was an incredibly beautiful, glamorous blonde thing. And she picked me up in a brand new convertible car. Now, it was January, and anybody who knows January and knows Chicago knows that it can be absolutely bitter. You can have 7 feet of snow on the sidewalks. As it happens, this was a stunning day, and we drove back from the airport with the roof down, and we went for lunch in central Chicago. Well, actually, we drove back to her incredibly flash apartment on North Lakeshore Drive. The car was valet parked, and we hopped in a cab and went for lunch. But when we were in the car, and subsequently, she was playing me, as you do, her favourite music, and it was Jimmy Buffett, and he was her favourite artist. And she played me her favourite Jimmy Buffett song. And her favourite Jimmy Buffett song was a song called Boat Drinks, and it very quickly became my favourite song as well. And while I was there and while I was with her, the date went well. I spent the night, and then I spent the next day and the next night and then the next week, and so on and so on and so on. Basically, I kind of moved in and spent some time there commuting between the US and the UK. And all the time that I was there, I was getting into Jimmy Buffett, the music, but also the way of life. If any of you know his music and his life and his lifestyle, it was kind of an eye opener to me. Um, I'd spent the previous 9 years working hard, but also playing hard, and getting into the Jimmy Buffett and Margaritaville way of life meant sod the working hard. Let's work smart, and let's play even harder. It's all about beaches, bars, ballads, boats. And I was so entranced by this idea that in that penthouse apartment on North Lakeshore Drive, I bought some card and I printed this out. Let me show you. And those are the lyrics to Boat Drinks. And I printed them off and I put them in my wallet. And these have stayed in a variety of wallets ever since. How long? 22 years now. And they've traveled literally around the world with me. And the reason that I did that was so that wherever I was in the world or whatever, and not everywhere had Wi-Fi, and 4G wasn't so much of it, wasn't a thing back then. And it was so I could just look at those, read the lyrics, and remind myself of the life that I would like to have. And cut a long story short, that's kind of what happened. I spent the next 5 years, having worked hard and played hard, I spent the next 5 years working hard at being a playboy. I traveled the world, I lived around the world, and I had an amazing time. 5 amazing years with which involved a succession of wonderful ladies, and involved living in Cyprus, in Paris, in North Africa. Gosh, I can't even remember where I went and the things that I got up to over that time. And then 5 years later, I met the lady who was to become my wife on a trip back to the UK when I was in Africa. And next thing you know, I'm settled down and married and raising 4 children. But the Boat Drinks thing never left me and still hasn't left me. I still need and want that to be a part of me. I'm going to show you the video, a live recording of the song, and I'm sure that you'll get an idea of the sort of thing that I'm talking about. And that part of that life has been an element of my life, even if I'm not literally on about drinking. It's the mind, it's the ethos that I keep banging on about, taking joy out of every day in whatever way and doing whatever you can. And I just got so into Jimmy Buffett. I loved all of his music. I do urge you to explore some of his. I'll put some in the Facebook group. And yeah, it was a little bit of a journey. I haven't met the guy. I've been to his resorts. I've been to his restaurants. I've been to concerts. Some of my hardest times, Radio Margaritaville got me through when I was separated and living alone in the Welsh cottage, which was a beautiful family hideaway, but kind of a bit harsh and desolate when you're there on your own and your life is kind of falling down around you. And of course, the other thing is that not through my doing, but through, again, a story I've explained to you before. Basically, when eBay.com became ebay.co.uk and selected businesses were invited to become part of the initial Power Seller program, I was one of them. My eBay ID was Boat Drinks. I always used Boat Drinks wherever I could as a reminder that this was how my life was going to be from then on. And because eBay became such a huge thing, I made a lot of money from eBay in the early 2000s, for a decade actually. And a lot of my friends, close friends to this day, are people that I met during that time. And we were known by our eBay usernames or derivations thereof. And of course, I was Boat Drinks. So all of these people started calling me Boaty. And I was perfectly happy about that. I loved the idea that my nomenclature was connected to Boat Drinks, to the whole thing. And of course, then in 2008, when I joined Facebook and whatnot and became involved in social media, then all of my eBay friends were calling me Boaty. So everybody else started calling me Boaty as well. And, to the point where now, I'm Boaty. And obviously this channel is Boaty's World. And so it's all interconnected. So hearing this morning or seeing this morning that he'd passed away, I'm not one of those who, I kind of disapprove of mass outpourings of grief for people that you barely know because they happen to be famous. But when somebody, so I'm not going to be howling and bawling and whatnot. But equally, when somebody, albeit, a celebrity figure, has that much of an effect on your life, their passing is obviously going to give you pause. And it's certainly given me pause today. And so I'm just reflecting that in this daily diary. I hope you'll forgive me this little indulgence. And I'm going to play this out with a live recording of the song Boat Drinks. And I hope you enjoy it. And I hope that in some way you can understand what I'm banging on about here. There we are. So a toast to absent friends, I think, is appropriate. I wish you all a very safe and peaceful night. Please do take good care of yourselves. Have the best day that you can tomorrow. And have a safe and peaceful night. Much love to you all. Good night. And please enjoy the song.
Drinks, boys in the bar are boat drinks. Visitors scored on the home break. Everything seems to be wrong. Lately, a newspaper mentioned cheap airfare. I gotta fly to Saint somewhere. I'll close the bottle on 20 degrees and a hockey game's on. Nobody cares, they're way too black on screaming boat drinks. Something to keep us all warm. This morning I shot 6 holes in my freezer. I think I got cabin fever. Somebody sounded alarm. I'd like to go where the pace of life's slow. Could you meet me somewhere in Mr. Sky? Any old place here on earth or in space. You pick a century and I'll pick the spot. drink, then I'm headed south for my dream train. I gotta go where it's warm. I gotta go where it's warm. I gotta go where it's warm. I got to go where there ain't any snow, where there ain't any flow, 'cause my fence sticks so low.